Right, so in today's video, it's a really cold day, but it's a really exciting day because I'm really looking forward to testing out the newly released DJI Osmo Action 6. So if you follow my channel, you'll see that I'm a real fan of action cameras. And now the Action 6 released, I had to get it because I'm really excited about them two major new features on an action camera, and it's a first for action cameras. So we've now got a new improved larger sensor inside this action camera. It's a 1/1.1 inch sensor, so that's going to be really good in low light situations. And we've also now got a variable aperture, so that is a real first as well on an action camera. And that's quite interesting with the variable aperture there, because in the settings you can set it to the usual standard 2.8 f-stop there, which all action cameras have, or you can leave it in automatic mode and let the aperture decide for itself in the lighting conditions. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So it starts at the f-stop 2.0 and then it can work its way up to 4.0 there, again in automatic mode, because I really want to see how it performs in all different lighting conditions. And then when new action cameras get released, sometimes we'll get new features and modes on there, and I'm really excited to try out the new subject tracking mode there, because if you follow my channel, I'm almost obsessed with cameras what can track you. I've done plenty of testing with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 there and the Action 5 Pro. And the Action 5 Pro subject tracking wins hands down. You can disappear, reappear, and then it picks you back up every single time. Although the Pocket 3's not as good as that. If you disappear behind even a thin tree and come back out, it loses you straight away. So it's going to be interesting today to test out that new improved subject tracking. So the weather conditions today are sunny spells, although I think we're going to get a lot more cloud than blue sky today. Oh, we can see some in the background there, but just behind the camera it's full white cloud. So fingers crossed we get some bright lit sun today, because I really want to test out that new image size sensor along with that 13.5 stops dynamic range. So I like to test my cameras out here at Bolsover Castle because it's a large place. We've got some vast landscapes there, we've got some large gardens, and then we can end up indoors to do some low light tests, especially with that super night mode. So now I'm going to go around and get some filming clips with the newly released Action 6, and let's really test it out to see how good it is. Here we go. Right, so now you're viewing the DJI Osmo 6 and you're also listening to the onboard quality. It's 30 centimeters away from me, so what's that onboard microphone sound like? Talking to the front microphone there. And what I forgot to tell you at the beginning of the video there, I'm going to keep it in automatic mode, standard D-warp, straight out the box, 4K 30, because I really like to do that when I first get my hands on cameras, because I want to really test them, what they look like straight out the box, because I do believe the majority of people want to see that, because the settings for people who are just starting out can be a little bit confusing. Right, so now I've spun the camera around. It's approximately 30 centimeters away from me. I'm just talking at a normal level. So what's the audio sound like whilst talking to the rear of the camera there? And like I said earlier, I'm rather interested in that variable aperture, and I can see right now that it's changing every time I move, because I've left it in automatic mode there. At the moment that's in F3, and as I move it over here we then jump to 2.8. Because with variable aperture you can usually do that on drones or DSLR cameras, so like I said, it's the very first on action cameras, so that's going to be interesting later on. And now let's walk through this archway and then we'll reveal Bolsover Castle. We've got that blue sky behind, although behind me it's very cloudy and the sun's gone in, but we've still got that bright blue there. So the castle and the grounds below me, it's rather shaded, so how's the dynamic range handling that? And then if you follow this channel, you'll know where we're going next, within the wall walk, because that's a low light area. So this is going to be great, and the first to test out that new, real loud, new image size sensor, that 1/1.1 there. So this is in normal filming mode, and let's just see how it performs inside here. That's really bright. Just to the left, as soon as you come in there, it's really shaded, but on the screen you can hardly see the shade. Just down there, that's the darkest area. And this is in normal filming mode. So now I'm going to repeat the same test, but in super night mode. And now I've switched over to super night mode. So I'll do the exact same route what I've done, and then I'll split screen side by side it, to hopefully see some differences. In an honest opinion, I've just walked in there looking at the back of the screen, it looks identical to normal filming mode. But we're only going to see that in the split screen. And now I've switched over to super night mode. So I'll do the exact same route what I've done, and then I'll split screen side by side it to hopefully see some differences. In an honest opinion, I've just walked in there looking at the back of the screen, it looks identical to normal filming mode. But we're only going to see that in the split screen. And now switch back to normal filming mode. I'm being attacked by children. And now switch back to normal filming mode. I'm facing the light, I'm walking out this dark room, outside. Let's see how that camera sensor handles this one. Looking at the small screen on the front, didn't do too bad there. We're only going to see when I get back on the monitor. So yeah, so it's really freezing. So let's warm up a bit now and do an hyperlapse. And we'll set that rate of times 15. I'll attach it to my chest harness. We'll walk around the castle grounds. And let's just see how smooth it is. Times 15. Here we go. So what did you think to the hyperlapse there? That was in the rate of times 15. Now on the Action cameras there, Action 3, 4 and 5 Pro and the 6, you've got rates there, there's 6 rates. They start in auto and work their way right through to times 30. So you've just viewed the rate there of times 15. And I know without hitting playback that that's the right one. It's smooth, there's no bumps or bounce in the footage, because I've done plenty of testing that on my channel. If you follow my channel, you'll see that I've done plenty of testing there with those hyperlapse modes across all those rates. So while the sun's directly behind me there, I'm going to say, can you make out the features on my shadow? But I can see my features for the tiny screen. So that 13.5 stops of dynamic range is really working there. Right, so now it's time to have a look at that new improved subject tracking on the Action 6. So I'm filming the back of the screen right now with the Pocket 3. So let's just go over to the new menu. So we'll just scroll all the way across here until we see subject tracking. And now we're quite limited at the moment. We can only get 1080 or 2.7K in a few different aspect ratios. So we'll go with 2.7K, 16:9 aspect ratio and 30 frames per second. And we can only have standard D-warp. So they're the settings. So now let's try out the new subject tracking, and then after I've tested it in the open space here, we'll test it with an object in front of me. I'll disappear and reappear and see if it picks me back up. Here we go. There we go. So now I've appeared in front of the camera and I can see on the screen it's got the box around me, so it's picked me up there. Now I can still see the green box, but as I get back here I can't, so I don't know if it's lost me or not. But I've faith in these DJI Osmo Action cameras, as that 5 Pro's subject tracking was absolutely flawless. So as I'm walking up and down here, this new improved subject tracking should keep me centre frame. So is it doing that? And once again, this is a first for me testing this. I don't yet know if it works properly or if it's lost me now and I'm wasting my time. So I'll just come back to see if it's still got the green box. Yes, it has. And I can see at this level. So is it keeping me centre frame whilst I'm walking to the edge of the frame here? Is it doing a good job of tracking me there? Right, so the same settings are dialed in as that one previous. So now let's disappear and reappear. Just checking it's got me. Yeah, green boxes around me. So I'm just testing it like this because I've not really tested it yet. I'm doing it with you. So now I'm going to carefully go around because we've only got standard D-warp, so I ain't got much field of view here. So I don't want to completely disappear off a frame just yet. So that should have picked me up. We should have that green box around me still. Once again, I can't see. But now I've disappeared behind the fountain and then reappear. Did that green box pick me back up? I'm really hoping so, because I'm a big fan of these active tracks and subject tracking. And once again, did I disappear and reappear with the green box around me? And now I'll disappear for a number of seconds. And now I'll go the other way. did it pick me back up? I'm really hoping so. Let me just have a look. Yes, I've still the green box around me. Right, now let's really test it. I'll disappear off frame. Well, just as I was saying that, I got a red box around me as I disappeared off frame. So I'm going to disappear off frame, reappear in the distance, in the background there. Let's see if it picks me back up when I disappear off that frame. So now I should be completely out of frame. And now I'm just going to walk behind the fountain. And I really hope it's working this. If it does, I'll be using it a lot more. And once again, I'll disappear from the frame. And I'm going to reappear. And once again, let's hope it's picked me back up there. So now I get close to the camera. And these people are thinking, what is he doing? And I can see that the green box is around me now once again. So hopefully everything's worked really good there. Now as you can see, it's turning really cloudy. So let's head inside and really test out that new larger sensor there, that 1/1.1 inch sensor. And then we'll compare it with the super night mode. If you follow my channel yet again, we know that down there is the darkest place. In the kitchens, there's just a little room that's really, really dark. So we'll compare the normal filming mode to the super night mode. Here we go. So this is normal filming mode. And I'll just keep telling you throughout the video what that aperture is doing. At the moment we're on 2.8. So that's what you usually see from normal action cameras. I'm just making my way to the darkest place. Again, we're in normal filming mode at the moment. Okay, so the darkest room is here on your left. And now the aperture's changed down to f2. And on the back of the OLED screen, just facing it into the really dark room, that looks quite bright. Right, so now I'm filming in normal filming mode, and I can see on the front OLED screen that looks really usable. Now it's only a tiny screen, so you'll be viewing it probably on a bigger monitor TV or your phone. But I'm looking for this really small screen, but it looks usable. I can imagine it's grainy when I blow it up on my monitor. But let's just see the comparison here. So this is the normal filming mode, and the only light you can see is through this tiny window. But to the naked eye in here, it really is dark, especially behind me. So there's no spooks in here. I've got a lot of history here, by the way. So now I'm going to switch over to the super night mode, and then I'll split screen it, see if there's really some differences there. Here we go. Right, so now I've switched over to super night mode, all the settings are the same. So what's this look like? I will say it looks even brighter than normal filming mode. So up to now, it's doing a good job and working. So what's the footage look like there? Now let's put a split screen side by side up with that normal filming mode versus this super night mode, again in 4K 30, automatic mode, standard D-warp. Right, so now I've switched over to super night mode, all the settings are the same. So what's this look like? I will say it looks even brighter than normal filming mode. So up to now, it's doing a good job and working. And now switch back to normal filming mode, and you can see it there. That's a really dark setting. And as I've said it before, you don't really use action cameras in as low light situations as that. It's for outside, street lamps, and when you're in your car. So there's a bit of lighting around, not in really dark areas like that. But looking at these screens today, in there for the first time, on this new improved sensor, it really looked like it was performing well. What's your thoughts on that? And every time I visit Bolsover Castle, I'm amazed at the amount of footfall on the steps here throughout the years. Right, so now I'm going to test out that subject tracking. But where the camera's positioned on a tripod, I can't fit the other camera around the back to show you. So let's just hope it keeps me centre frame. I can see the green box right now, and I can still see it as I'm backing up. I'm going to walk between these rooms, see if it works there. You should be able to see it moving as it's keeping me centre frame, hopefully. So just before I disappear is the green box around me again. Now when I disappeared, and then when I've reappeared, has it picked me back up? Did it pick me up? Did it lose me? Did it pick me back up and lose me? I'm right at the edge there, and you should see that tracking me, and hopefully keeping me centre frame, because the others didn't do that, it just tracked you. So now with this new advanced technology, so now with this new subject tracking, I'm hoping it's really working. And if it's been following me when I've disappeared and reappeared indoors here, it's absolutely flawless. So did that new improved subject tracking work indoors, just like hopefully it did outside? Again, I've not been back and seen this yet. I wasn't walking around in the distance for no reason. And now it's time for a battery update check. So I can see that now we're on 64%, and I've been filming for approximately 2 hours 10 minutes. And once again, 4K 30 standard DWAP automatic mode. And when I've not been filming, it's just been left in standby mode. So that battery is really phenomenal, to be fair. So while I'm on this floor, let's have a quick look around here, just to test out the different lighting conditions. So this room's called the lantern room. It's called that for an obvious reason right now, as you can see. This basically lights the entire floor up. So we'll just walk around into these different rooms now, keeping it in normal filming mode to really test out that new image size sensor. I must say it looks really well on this front OLED screen. So what's it look like on whatever device you're viewing it on? Turn the camera around here, see how it handles that. And that's nice how you can see the blue sky, because I can't really see it as blue as it is on the back of the screen. So the HDR is really working there. And whilst I head down to the lower floor, just keep an eye on that stabilisation again. That standard RockSteady stabilisation, just as I'm walking down these stairs. Again, I'm not really taking care I hold the selfie stick or I'm walking. So is it bouncing and shaking around, or is it performing well? So what's the overall picture quality look like in this room? We've got a bit of light penetrating through the doors and this round window at the top. But that again looks really usable on that front OLED screen. Now I'll go down here and flip the camera around just to see how it handles that. And I've noticed this new 13.5 stops of dynamic range really works when that sun's behind you. You can still see my details, because on some other cheaper models, let's just say, I'd be a complete black shadow by now. So let's just see how the camera handles this as I pull away from the window. As I'm indoors, it's really bright out there, but really dark inside this room. And now we'll go into this dark setting, straight out into the light. We'll test out that dynamic range again. And the stability down these stairs. So now I'm going to take a look at the photo mode on the Action 6. I'll take a couple of pictures of the castle now, the sun has just come out. So in the aspect ratio of 16.9 we can get 34 megapixels. And the highest it goes there is in the aspect ratio 4.3 at 38 megapixels. So I'll go with the highest one there. I'll go with the aspect ratio 4.3. Take a couple of pictures of the castle at the side and at the front, and then I'll crop in to really see the picture detail there. And now I'm going to pick the pace up a little bit as I walk through that doorway, straight up some stairs, test out that stabilisation. Again, RockSteady standard DWAP. We'll start running now. Again, I'm not taking care how I'm holding the selfie stick, so what's that stabilisation look like? Now on the Action 6 we've also got that new feature called lossless zoom. Now this is on the Insta360 cameras, especially on the Ace Pro 2 and the Go Ultra, and I've really tested them out and they seem to be lossless zoom. So I'm really going to try this lossless zoom now. So first of all I'll just film in normal filming mode for you, the ×1, then I'll double tap the screen and then we'll see it punch in there and it should be complete lossless quality. Let's find out. Here we go. So as you can see, on top of the castle we've got the English heritage flag, and this is at ×1. Now I'm going to switch over to the clarity zoom ×2 to see what that looks like. Again, keep an eye on the picture detail on the flag. And now that's punched in ×2 with the clarity zoom. So again, it's 4K 30 and it's supposed to be lossless quality. So what's your thoughts on that? Because I'm looking for the small screen. It does look lossless on the small screen, but what's it look like on the screen you're viewing it on? And now I've come to the front of the castle, and that's 4K 30 at ×1. Now let's punch in twice with that lossless zoom. I've just hit that ×2 icon. So is it lossless quality there? And just want to note there, you can't use that lossless zoom whilst you're recording. It greys out. You can only tap that ×2 icon when you've stopped recording. So now it's time for a battery update, and I've been filming now for approximately 2 hours and 42 minutes. That's very precise, I know. So 2 hours 42 minutes, and now the battery level's on 47%. And when I've not been filming, like I said earlier, it's been left in standby, and I've been filming in 4K 30 all that time. So for 2 hours 42 minutes, them new improved batteries at 1950 milliamps are absolutely outstanding, to be fair. And now that variable aperture is at 2.8. Let's just see if it changes when I walk through here. Well, you'll not be able to see that, but I'll be able to tell you. Straight away it's gone to f3. I'm going to turn it round onto me. Now it's jumped back to 2.8. So that's been interesting today in these different lighting conditions, as I've been seeing that fluctuate from anywhere from 2 right up to 4. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this video here today at Bolsover Castle, and I think you can agree I've really put the new Action 6 through its paces today here, because we've had a lot of different lighting conditions, and it's been great to really test out those new modes, especially that subject tracking. So I can't wait to get back and find out if that subject tracking kept that green box around me, especially when I disappeared from frame and then re-entered the frame. And then I went over that hyperlapse there at ×15. Now, as I said, that's the sweet spot whilst walking with chest harness. As you saw, it's not bouncy or wobbling around. In the lower 8s it's really bouncy, like it's strapped to a frog or a bunny, and the higher 8s it's just way too fast. So if you're doing any hyperlapses whilst walking with a chest harness, always choose ×15, but keep the path straight where you're walking. Try not to get any twists and turns in there. And then I tested out the photography mode, and the highest we can get there is 38 megapixels. I really thought DJI were going to push that and reach to 50 megapixels like it is on the Ace Pro 2. But 38 megapixels, to be fair, is just good enough. And then we've seen the new improved Super Night mode with that new larger sensor there, that 1/1.1 sensor. And as I've been looking at the back of the screen and the front of the screen, which I am right now, I can really say that I can really see a difference with that larger sensor, especially in them low light areas. And do stick around, because in future videos real soon I'm going to be doing a split screen side by side comparison with the Action 6 versus the Action 5 Pro. So that's going to be really interesting. So as always, do stay tuned to the channel, as there's going to be plenty more videos on the horizon, especially with testing out this newly released Action 6. And I've got a lot of accessories coming for it, so it's going to be really interesting to test those new accessories out. So really do stay tuned to the channel. But for now, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and bye for now.